A new poll came down asking if we should reboot the Harry Potter movies. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
Alright, so I gotta make this one a quickie because not only am I spending way too much time here, I also promised that I would go and help Sky move. So that should be a whole lot of fun. So much fun. Actually, she offered to pay me, so I was like, alright, okay, I'll do it. If she would have asked nicely, I probably would have said yes. But she offered money, and so I was like, alright, okay, I'll do it. Great. I love doing stuff for money. And nobody tell her that, by the way. Don't tell her that. It's also because she asked me to get some people, and so it's like, all right, okay. I get how she might have asked me for the favor, but not strangers. So there you go. Classic Sky asking the Mexican. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to skedaddle out of here pretty soon. But let me give you a quick reminder. You can listen to the podcast in the iHeartRadio app. Just type in the show presents Super Dario World, or you can find it on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube as Super Dario World Podcast. Now, thank you for everybody who's given me out all the good comments from the P1 podcast yesterday, the first live video. Glad you enjoyed. Glad you are liking it. For those of you offering the critique of a multi-camera setup would be better, I agree. They won't give me the money for it. We have the money for nothing. It is just me. I'm doing this on my fucking phone, okay? I'm the one that's trying to make it happen. Basically, they told me you have to do this and do the best you can. And so I have to do it by my fucking self in the limited amount of time that I have here. So, yeah. I would love to do a multi-camera setup. I would love to do it. I would love to do lights. I would love to do a whole bunch of stuff. Put a little makeup on them, maybe, would be helpful. But, yeah, we don't have the budget for it. All they have is just me, and you gotta do the best of what you got. They didn't even give me a fucking tripod. A tripod. Just one. Also, a part of me is like, you know what? It's the P1 podcast is kind of chaotic, so the camera moving around crazy, chaotic as well. It's you know what? It fits. It fits. Or at least that's what I want to tell myself. Also, it's just our first and second try, so hopefully we'll develop more of a chemistry with the camera in there eventually. The problem is that people get become really aware when a camera's around. So eventually, they'll probably relax and be like, all right, you know what, it's fine. It's just another part of it. Hopefully, hopefully they get better, not worse. Anyway, so also if you want to reach out to me ever, you can always find me through my Instagram at Dario the Show. You can always find me right there. Any comments, questions, or suggestions? I'm a little backed up. I don't think I've answered a few things for a while. It's just because I've been really busy. But I will. I always answer, even if it takes me a little bit. I always answer everybody. Because I figure, if you take the time to send me a message, I can take the time out of my day to send you one back. Seems fair. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I read a poll that was asked. The problem here is not the results. The results are fine. There was a poll asking that should Warner Brothers reboot Harry Potter, and the overwhelming answer was 72% of people saying no, it's perfect. So most people don't want to reboot. But the fact that they're asking the question is ridiculous to me. I mean, first off, you already have Fantastic Beasts, which is not that great. The first one was okay. The second one kind of sucked, but you still have it. The Harry Potter world is still alive and well. Well, it's alive. I don't know if well. And if you're gonna do anything with it, why don't you just J.K. Rowling came out with another book. So if you're asking that should we continue it, that's a different question. And I think I'd be fine. I have issues with the Harry Potter movies. I think that after Prisoner of Azkaban, which is the third one, it kind of went downhill. So the best one is by far Prisoner of Azkaban. My only issue with it is kind of the time travel stuff. But to me, the best made one is Prisoner of Azkaban. From there on, they just crammed too much into every movie. And I can understand it. But they left a lot of meat on the bone from the books, and I mean a lot of meat. And so some of the things felt kind of rushed, and just they weren't. The quality was there. Don't get me wrong, the quality of the movie was there. I just have issues with the storytelling and how a lot of things are just really, really rushed. You don't really get to enjoy the world as much. So I have issues with them. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that the best one is the third one. At least that's my humble opinion. I don't know what you think. So rebooting, a part of me would be like, you know what? It might be an interesting reboot. However, I saw a few images of what a Harry Potter anime might look like, and I think it would be way better. So an animated series, a Harry Potter animated series, I think would be way better. You could spend as much time as you want developing it. You can actually go through the whole freaking story. I think it would be better for the series in general. So just leave the originals alone. I mean, they could have done a little bit better, I guess, but they were fine. They were good enough, and it's way too soon. It's way, way too soon. Like, freaking Daniel Radcliffe still looks the same as he did in the last movie, so it'd be kind of ridiculous. Anyway, so that was like the big news that caught my eye. Another thing that I noticed is, and I'm really excited for this, the trailer just dropped, and it's more not a trailer, it's a teaser dropped for the next Dave Chappelle Netflix special called Sticks and Stones, and holy shit, I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it because basically what he's saying it's narrated by Morgan Freeman, which is pretty interesting, but basically what it's teasing is that, well, what we've always known about Dave Chappelle, that Dave Chappelle does not give a fuck. Comedy right now it's a freaking minefield. People don't know how to navigate it, but Dave Chappelle does not give a fuck. And I'm super stoked for it. Like, honestly, Dave Chappelle to me probably right now is the best comedian. It's between Dave Chappelle, maybe. No, I'm trying to think. No, Dave Chappelle takes the cake. I mean, I love Bill Burr, I love Chris Rock, I love everybody, but Dave Chappelle is kind of an anomaly. Like, I don't know. I just love all of his specials. The problem is that I think I know what it is. He's rarer. You know, we see way less of Dave Chappelle than we see of Bill Burr. I mean, Bill Burr has a podcast. You listen to him every Monday if you want. He's on. He does a lot of shows. He does a lot of things. Chris Rock also. He's a little bit more in the spotlight than Dave Chappelle is. So Dave Chappelle is kind of rare. It's like seeing a unicorn. So I think that's what makes his specials more special. That's why I don't know. I think this should be pretty interesting. And I heard on the Joe Rogan podcast that apparently Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle went on tour together, and they're planning to do another one. Well, they did a show together, and they're planning on doing another one, which would be fucking insane. Dude, that's a must-have ticket right there. I don't care where it is. I don't care how far I have to go. I will go watch that fucking show. That'd be nuts. Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan together, and plus they have a whole bunch of openers. That would be fucking nuts. Anyway, another thing that I noticed that I found kind of interesting is Harry Styles, formerly from a band whose name is just missing. Right now, what is it, One Direction? I think it's One Direction. Anyway, Harry Styles had announced, well, he didn't really announce, but it was leaked that he passed on the role of Prince Eric for the new Disney's Little Mermaid. Now, I don't really care. I saw him, what was the movie? It was the newest Christopher Nolan movie, the one about war. It was a World War II one. Right now, oh my God, I'm blanking out on it. I'm burnt out, I guess, from so much video editing. Anyway, so that guy, so far I think he's a serviceable actor from what I've seen. But he passed on the role of Prince Eric, which I found really interesting because of because of the casting choices for this movie. Now, I already talked about Halle Bailey portraying Ariel and all that stuff, but here's the thing that I've found in the casting of The Little Mermaid that actually did bother me, and that's that they casted Aquafina as Scuttle. You know, the seagull. The seagull is now going to be played by Aquafina. Now, I don't know enough about Aquafina, but the things that I've seen her on, she's kind of plastic. You know, she's not very kooky. And Scuttle is a very kooky character, right? He's crazy. He thinks that a freaking fork is a hair comb. He's nuts. So, why the fuck are you casting Aquafina as the seagull? Also, I could go into that a lot, because there's a whole bunch of shit there that I consider just to be bullshit. But, I mean, the main thing is, you're complaining about this movie's just trying to cast this way into hell. Honestly, like they're just trying to piss off people left and right. I already defended the Ariel thing, but why Aquafina Scuttle? That's what the fuck? Also, Melissa McCarthy is going to be doing Ursula, which I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Melissa McCarthy as the villain. So I don't know. This movie just sounds like a mess. Left and right, it just sounds like a complete mess. So, yeah, good on you. You know what? That's why Harry Styles passed on it. He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that shit show. Don't need it. My career is doing pretty good right now. Another thing that I saw that I found really interesting, apparently the Nintendo Switch, GameStop is doing an offer where you can trade it in for, if you had the original one, which I love my Switch. I've been playing a lot of Switch games lately because for those of you who don't know, I work. I'm doing work as a reviewer for a website called Review Nation, and I get video games. So I'm the only one there who has a Switch, so I'm reviewing all the Switch games. So I've been using my Switch a lot more, and the battery life is not great. However, apparently GameStop is doing like for $75 you can trade in the original release Switch for one of the newer ones that kind of almost doubles or triples the battery of it, which sounds great. It goes from 2.5 to 6.5, and now it's going to 4.5 to 9. Well, I guess it doesn't triple it. It depends on how much you use it, I guess. But the point is, it's way longer. So for $75, it doesn't seem like a bad deal. So I'll check that out. Maybe the offer is valid if you want to do it. It's a GameStop. I'd call in to check if they have any. And it's valid to September 15th. So if you're interested, check it out. Finally, the last thing that I saw, apparently 6 movies have crossed the $1 billion mark this year, and Disney made 5 of them, which is really, really nuts. And it tells you a lot about the state of the industry right now. Okay, first off, let me just tell you the movies. The latest one to cross it was Toy Story 4. Besides that, you got the other 4 Disney movies are Avengers Endgame, The Lion King, Captain Marvel, and Aladdin. And the 6th movie, you could argue that it's a fucking... it was made by Sony, but it's Spider-Man Far From Home. So it's still a Marvel movie. Anyway, the point is, it tells you about... Honestly, the film industry is in a really sad state. Because all those movies are in some way sequels or remakes of original stuff. So you could argue that Captain Marvel is not a sequel, but it's part of the MCU, right? If it weren't part of the MCU, nobody would have seen it because it sucked. Anyway, and so Aladdin and Lion King, they're fucking reboots. Not reboots, but I guess they're rebooting it in live action, which is stupid. I also heard that they're going to do a sequel to that Aladdin. Now, that one I don't mind because they said it wouldn't be exactly the Return of Jafar. They would do something else, which I guess is okay if you're going in a different direction. Fine. But, dude, the film industry is really bizarre because movies are crossing the $1 billion mark like nothing, but none of them are original. It's no original content. So they're just either they're making a whole bunch of crap movies or TV has just completely blown them out of the water. In original content, TV is just completely blowing film out of the water. The only way that they're making movies that make any money is with sequels or reboots. It's sad. Honestly, it's really sad to see. Well, a part of you is like, well, you got 6 movies that made over $1 billion, and you have the highest grossing film of all time. Yeah, but they're not selling as many tickets. You see, all these numbers crossing the $1 billion mark is not exactly accurate. For example, and I argued this a lot because I had a lot of people reach out to me when I said that I wanted Avatar to stay as number 1 and didn't want Avengers Endgames to pass it. And I thought that it coming back to theaters was kind of cheating, whatever. And so while I was talking to them, my argument was like, okay, yeah, we're just arguing about the final dollar. And I understand that Avatar came back, it also had a re-release, but up to that weekend, Avengers Endgame had not beaten the Avatar original box office results. It just hadn't. After it did the re-release, which was a scam, by the way, because they didn't add anything, that's when they surpassed the original. Now, would have Avengers Endgame surpassed Avatar's original box office if it hadn't done that? Maybe, because it was still in theaters. It was possible. Was it probable? I don't know. But and so to me, the thing that those making $2.79 billion today is not the same amount of tickets as making $2.7 billion 10 years ago. Avatar came out 10 years ago. The prices in movie tickets have gone way, way up. So even though it's made more money, less people actually went to the movies to see it. Does that make any sense? Let's say if you went and saw a movie 10 years ago, it was, let's say, $10. Right now, it's closer to 13 or 15, and that's only if you go to the regular one, right? If you go to the basic bitch one. So, I mean, if 10 people watch a $13 movie, you make $130. In order for the $10 tickets to match $130, 13 people have to see it. So, more people watched the $10 one. However, the $13 one, well, I guess in this example doesn't count, but it would make more money. So, well, I mean, I think you can follow the math there. I don't really want to get into it too much because my head's hurting. Anyway, so it's sad because is it because, all right, the question here is it because they're not creating anything original or anything that the audiences consider worth seeing? Is it that TV has just, and streaming services have just, the quality has gone up so much that just blowing film out of the water? Or is it that film has just become too expensive? My theory is that for the cost of going to see a movie, you can pay a monthly Netflix membership, right? One movie, one ticket, one person. But you could have a month's worth of Netflix, which is almost an unlimited supply of content right there. It's almost unlimited. Okay, it's not unlimited. Well, you don't have limit to how much you can watch, but and I don't think you'd be able to go through all of Netflix in a month. And next month they have more content. So is it that it's more? Is it that it's just ridiculously expensive, or is it that the quality went down, or is one the cost of the other? I don't know. I think it's just the money. Honestly, it's. The film industry needs to make a radical change in order to stay alive. And I don't like this whole reboot shit. I don't like it. That's why I haven't gone to see any of the reboots except The Lion King because I saw it as a press thing, so it was free. That's the only one. They're not getting my money because, screw them. Anyway, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it was informative. Now I gotta go move a whole bunch of shit at Sky's house. The thing is that I'm going to know where she lives now. I'm going to use her poll. Haha. Don't tell her that either. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll see you again tomorrow.